GG/BCX. But we are going to be going into this elimination semifinal. We've got Macheeete on the Fate versus Fiend on the Wushang. Fiend been dual maining Wushang and Hattori this entire tournament, and Macheeete almost primarily on the Fate, which, Sparky, we confirmed has been a 2022 special for this man who has played so many different Legends of competitive.
Now, I love, Tazza, that you pointed out, actually both of y'all pointed out, that Fiend wasn't really talked about in the conversations for top 3, and that's, you know, based on the seeding itself. Seed 28, whoa. Fiend coming into this one compared to seed 2. Macheeete, that's insane.
I mean, he's definitely upsetting the seeds. He's far upset the seeds. He's far upset anytime he's ever played at a LAN, and he's still continuing on, currently going up against the European, though, and he's going to get the down like ground pound. One more hit, Macheeete gets past him.
Hopefully that wasn't too greedy, because he is so damaged, and Macheeete is going to grab not only the safe passage back to the stage, not only a hit, but a KO hit as well with that orb side air. Back to the side, going to disarm himself after Fiend jumped out of the way of the weapon spawn. See a little bit of unarmed damage, swap spots. Macheeete actually goes away from the weapon spawn. I guess he wasn't tunnel visioning for it and knew Fiend was going to come towards him. Nice weapon toss, going to clean that one up. Didn't take too much damage. Weapon toss is basically the absolute safest way to KO your opponent. Good work from Fiend. Did you see that swap while Macheeete was right next to him? I think Macheeete still had iframes from spawning back in, dude, and Fiend was not afraid.
And that swap came straight into a gauntlet nair right afterwards, man. I love watching how creative Fiend is with his spear edge guards, getting those down airs in and the weapon throws and disjointing the timing between them enough to really make his opponent uncomfortable. And look at that dare dribble, getting the nair into the side light. Macheeete responding back with his own damage, but Fiend still, with gauntlets in hand, gets haymaker to the face and right away responds with a weapon throw pickup nair off the right side of the stage.
It's so cool to see, because it's a South American style of gauntlets. It's not quite the same as the North Americans that I'm used to seeing. So seeing Fiend with the creativity that he's got with his weapons, it's so awesome to see the adaptation, the decision making, the nairs, the gravity cancel, side sigs, everything he's bringing out. He could get the stock, but Macheeete lands down.
We said this yesterday, that Fiend makes weapon tosses look like the most amazing thing in the game, but when his opponent uses them, the absolute worst move in the game. Like, oh, you're throwing your weapon at Fiend? Bro, really? You're just disarming yourself right now, and you're going to let Fiend punish you for it.
It's such an awesome adaptation that we've seen several players do, but Fiend have a lot of success with, which is when you're in that neutral situation. We talk about this all the time. Players love to break neutral with that weapon throw. You throw it at him, you hit your opponent, you bounce off of it, you pick it back up. Macheeete evens up the stocks, but what Fiend does is he spot dodges, but he doesn't just spot dodge, he jumps, he air dodges in place, then cancels it into the side stick to catch the opponent who assumes that you're either A, gonna get hit, or B, gonna dodge, right? He gets the knockout for it. Macheeete now, however, evening things up, has the orb going up against Fiend's spear, and this could not be a closer game one for this elimination semifinal.
Man, this is still either player's opportunity. Macheeete gets a sidelight side air, can't continue the momentum, and he actually puts himself off stage for a moment, but Fiend gives him a lot of breathing room. He's been doing that a lot, especially when he's got his spear in hand, is he'll back really far away, see if he can drag you along, because once you land, he'll catch you with that side sit.
Sidelight side air coming out from Macheeete, doing a great job. That's still hit. I think Fiend was
that hurt more.
He was so
personally
worried to like dodge that weapon toss because he didn't want to burn his dodge, because in comes Macheeete and he's gonna get hit while he's behind in the red. Macheeete setting up, trying to be very careful. Isn't really getting too close to Fiend. He wants to find this KO move. The side air weapon toss goes low. Macheeete has stage control. There's the weapon. Sidelight side air. Gonna secure this game. Game one goes to Macheeete.
I love that you mentioned how he wanted to dodge the weapon throw. You weren't talking about the orb that was lobbed up ahead of him. No, he was worried about the scythe that Macheeete had in his hands. That was the one that he was waiting to react to dodge. And when that orb hit him on the head, kind of threw things off. And then Macheeete, for the rest of that stock, was getting the weapon throws to connect, pick the scythe back up, and at the very end, catches Fiend's recovery with that sidelight side air to get the knockout on the right side of the stage and take the lead in this best of 5.
But he's still got some breathing room. We already talked about some of the character picks, right? He's been playing this Wushang. He hasn't even really swapped throughout today from what I've seen. He's been kind of sticking with it, but depending on the situation, could go to the Hattori, but it looks like it's still the Wushang for game number 2.
Coming into this one on the Demon Island. It's going to be a very small sidewall here, but we haven't seen too many edge guard situations coming from both of these players. It's really just been a battle for the stage. There's been a lot of stuff above the stage and maybe to the top right and top left, but not that much on those walls. I don't know if they're going to play that much of an effect here. We'll have to see. Of course, Fiend does like to slide charge some signatures every now and then, especially that spear down sig. We've seen that a few times today. We'll see if that comes into play here. Macheeete already starting out with the lead.
Even though Macheeete won that last game, it wasn't really off the back of what we were highlighting so much with the Luna set, which is orb down air. And this is a stage that I feel like orb down air covers the wall so well on. Sideline side air, however, is pretty good at catching landings, and Macheeete, just like how he ended game 1, opens up game number 2 with that same combo, this time off the left side of the stage as he takes the lead, and Fiend is looking for a weapon, and this time, Fiend can't just do it with a side or a down air and a weapon throw to finish it off. Macheeete has a bit more damage to go before he can start worrying about that.
Whoa!
Never mind. Open the game with that down sig, ends that stock with the down sig as well.
It's interesting to see Macheeete lean on that orb so much in this matchup against Fiend, because I think if you asked a lot of people coming into this weekend what's his main weapon, they'll kind of lean a little bit more towards that side. He's known for that Mordex in the past, but so far the orb's been looking clean as he swaps to the side.
Weapon toss comes out. Fiend, you see him moving towards, but he also backs up. He doesn't tunnel vision towards the weapon spawn.
He's so
Fiend
good.
is not that afraid to play on arm. We've seen that in all of his history. Is being without a weapon is not the worst thing for Fiend. He still prioritizes weapons because it's more damage, it's more follow-up opportunity, it's greater force, but still, being without one isn't the worst thing in the world for him. And that's, again, another thing that's a little bit uniquely Fiend.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where the mind games that Fiend's able to play with the weapon spawn that's being guarded by an opponent are so great that we saw there unarmed. He dashes in, dashes back, dashes in sidelights, dashes back, goes in, just barely dips low enough to pick it back up, and then takes the damage lead. The neutral sig doesn't catch Macheeete in the air as he fast falls to the ground and gets a punish. And Fiend, ooh, that side air from the ledge is going to get him a sidelight side air to his face. And look at this, Macheeete with that weapon throw.
Oh, he almost had that D-Light to punish the landing. Didn't quite have the range on it. Almost had that as well. Yo, just back and forth between these two. The weapon toss goes out from Fiend.
The read's just not quite hitting. He was expecting the spot dodge, expecting the horizontal dodge, but Macheeete dodges down. Both of them in this nail-biter situation. Fiend doesn't pick up the spear, the spawn to Macheeete, and Fiend punishes him for it.
Why was that so tense for them still only being on their stocks?
Each stock is important.
Dude, that felt like last stock red.
Yeah. And the way that Fiend finished it was last stock red, right? With that slide charge end sig unarmed to catch Macheeete dash jumping for the weapon. And now that side sig catches Macheeete, puts some damage in. But even after getting hit by a side sig at that low amount of damage, Macheeete evaluates the situation, goes, spear down line, that's going to go right over my head. He turns around, gets the neutral light, and the knockback's enough to make it even 1-1. And now, well, if that last stock felt like last stock situation, this one's going to feel even more.
It's looking like a repeat of game 1. They're so evenly matched, the top people from their regions, and it's so impressive to see them go to final stocks, basically even health right now.
The side air from Macheeete, another side air from Macheeete.
Oh,
He's building up this damage. It's not going to take much more until Fiend is in KO territory. Weapon toss goes out. It's the spear, the Fiend classic. The number of people that are going to be inspired to play spear because of Fiend today, the number is absolutely climbing every single moment. But I think we might see some more Fates in tournament as well, based on the way Macheeete is playing. Oh, just barely spot dodges that sideline. I'm not sure if it had quite the range, but still great timing on the dodge. Weapon spawn comes in. Macheeete, he's hunting for a weapon, but you also see him putting pressure onto Fiend. Weapon spawn comes in. Fiend grabs it.
Pogo?
The
Spawn
range.
hatch?
Oh, there's the sidelight weapon spawn.
Side sig! Fiend gets it from center stage. He takes him out to left. That stock was played so remarkably by Fiend, dodging everything, getting all these sidelights. And Macheeete, he was doing such a great job at following all the mix-ups that Fiend was going for. Sidelight goes through. He dodges the downlight. The next time Fiend does that chase dodge nair, dodges that as well. But every single time Fiend was winning in neutral, Macheeete was just scrambling to get a weapon, and Fiend continued to deny it from him all the way up to that side sig at the very end to even up the set 1-1. What an incredible game.
I mean, that's absolutely what I was thinking about, is that scramble in those last moments, and they're sprinting into the next one. Sparky doesn't even have time to talk about the stats of the last one.
That's fine. I didn't even want to talk about him anyway. I hope y'all are having fun enjoying the game because I'm having fun looking at it. I think, Tazza, do you want to actually look at the numbers? And
I mean, if you want to take a look at what's happening on the screen right now, I'll take one quick look, but yeah, go ahead.
I said I didn't want to say anything, and Tazza like leaned over like, hold on. Let me be the judge of that.
If you Look, the gameplay is speaking for itself right now.
That's true.
So we gotta get back into this. Mammoth Fortress is coming on right now. Macheeete versus Fiend. The legends are staying exactly the same here. Macheeete, as you said, Duke, was staying primarily on that orb. Fiend on the spear for the most part, and he's already in orange, but I feel like at this point, the pace of the game is so heavy on who has momentum in neutral that the stocks are really what we're looking for here. That neutral stick just almost takes down Fiend's first stock, and Macheeete, he has been doing so well catching Fiend's landings with side light, side air. He's looking for that again, and Fiend goes all the way to center. Nice attempt from the neutral light from Fiend, but he ends up getting punished for it.
Yeah, kind of got read out there, right? Like, Macheeete sat far enough back. Fiend was trying to catch him if he moved too close instead of going for the immediate pickup, and it ended up working out in Macheete's favor. Neutral light will beat out Fiend's option, and Macheete's one hit from finishing off this stock, but Fiend does get the wall touch. No side light, side air just yet from Macheeete.
Even though Fiend won last game, I feel like this game started off still confidently in Macheete's favor. He started off with those neutral signatures and hit one of them. The other one didn't get punished, so Fiend was looking like he was playing a little bit timid against Macheeete, at least in the beginning, and may continue to, given that the lead Macheeete has. You see him getting a little saucy, neutral light, chase dodge, turnaround, neutral light.
Oh, and look at that, going for that ground pound. Macheeete recovers high. Silent recovery, it just barely knocks out off the top. That was one of those damage ranges where I'm like, is that enough to take him out? But Fiend knows best, and that recovery takes him down, evens up the game, despite the nice lead Macheeete had at that first stock, but he catches him right away with that scythe down light. Side light catches him well, but the spot dodge from Fiend into the wake-up neutral light means that the damage is going back and forth, and even with that mix-up on the Nair, Fiend delaying it because Macheete's spot dodge in the air came so delayed, it doesn't hit, and he continues to go back and forth, Fiend with a slight damage deficit.
They're so good at making sure the other one doesn't get extra credit. Every single time one of them's gotten a stock lead, the other one is so quick to finish off the stock. They're like high school bullies, where they take that homework and throw it in the trash ASAP.
That's messed up.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. They're not letting each other get that extra credit.
Do bullies dig in your backpack, take your homework, and throw it away? That's another level, dude. I never watched Euphoria. Is that something they do in Euphoria? What's going on, man? Are bullies different today? They used to just beat you up and call you a bad word.
Oh, so highlight slider coming up from Macheeete with the downers. We were talking about how down airs on Demon Island may be the thing that comes out here, but no. Fiend has mostly been recovering high when fighting against Macheeete. Macheeete has been going for those highlight sliders to catch it. Scythe now picked up, gets that side to put him up the side of the stage. And this isn't even a big enough lead here for when either player takes the stock. I feel like we're going to get it cleaned up right away and go into a 1-1.
Yeah, every single time I think there's going to be an opportunity for someone to get a KO, maybe start mounting a lead. The other one survives that pressure situation and gets back. They're so deep red. This is, again, a repeat of the last one where they're playing these second stocks like it's their last ones.
Yeah.
They want that little bit of an edge, but Macheeete is going to get it with the down air. Can he finally get that extra credit?
These games being so close is so interesting because these two players are from completely different regions across the world from one another. I don't think either of them specifically prepared for this matchup. Fiend plays extremely unique, unlike anybody else. Macheeete is playing a character that not a lot of people play, and yet somehow they've figured each other out that they go basically dead even. The answer to your question, Duke, is no. Extra credit is denied.
Here. Such a great job of cleaning up those stocks, and yes, the playstyle differences are actually meshing in a really fun way to spectate, right? As that double D-Light Cider comes through here, but the way that these two players play, I feel like it's bringing out the best in each other as they're getting here in this one-on-one situation, set tied up, game tied up, Fiend getting that unarmed damage in, and like you're talking about, Duke, that's just how Fiend plays. It's like every stock is a last stock scenario with how some of the unarmed options he goes for are just so wild that you think he must be trying to get something that will work only once, but that's just how he's always playing.
And I love that it's not like last stock, let me run away and get one hit here and there. It's last stock and let me pick just the craziest option that'll still work out. Like they're surviving, but they're still scrapping and clawing at each other.
Weapon advantage, it was favoring Macheeete, but now it's not. Weapon is going to favor Fiend as he comes in with the spear. Oh, nice little slide kick away. Doesn't want to extend the pressure. Definitely favors having the weapon. Side light, side air. Now you see why he wanted that weapon, so he can grab that side light, side air.
Dash.
Oh, the recovery, not quite. Weapon toss going to go down. Hopefully let him land. D-Light GC neutral heavy. He didn't underestimate his range on that one. He spaced it perfectly, grabbed it, executed the GC neutral heavy, gets the KO off the top. Macheeete up 2-1.
Fiend nearly stole that game away with that recovery there. I really thought he was going to do a dodge, a jump, or something, but he had timed his spear recovery and all those jumps to platform cancel on Mammoth Fortress, immediately dash forward, pick up weapon recovery. Macheeete and I was like, oh my god, did he just steal the game with that? But no, Macheeete had just enough damage on him to where he doesn't go off the top and manages to get that D-Light gravity cancel neutral sig, right, to get him off the top. The hardest hitting move that you can go for on arm to take Fiend and bring him to match point. But man, game after game, Duke, it's been so incredible watching these two. And now, of all stages, we're going to Brawlhalla with how quickly they've been knocking each other out. My goodness, this game's going to go by in a flash.
I mean, talking about scrappy plays, now it's the scrappiest map. Again, one of the smallest maps in the game, not in just stage, but in KO boxes. Stocks will be taken so quick. Fiend could easily get a stock right here if he can keep the pressure going. Another recovery doesn't quite hit Macheeete. Was in sweat beads, though.
He's been denying weapons this whole entire time.
That's literally what I was about to say, Tazza. Oh my gosh. His ability to deny weapons when he's literally right next to his opponent. No one else does that. They see their opponent there, they'll back away a little bit. They won't throw their weapon away and pick up the new one. That's such a bold gambit that Fiend is not afraid to take.
Now the thing that's happening in this game, great D-Light side air, catches him in the air, takes a stock off the right, but I've been noticing that last game, we saw how Fiend secured his one win against Macheeete with that side stick from center stage. In game number 3, he put out side stick after side stick after side stick, and Macheeete is starting to deal with that option a lot better now. Fiend right there, whipped it again, but then dashed forward immediately, got the D-Light side air, and now let's see, Duke, is this going to be the first time that we get any credit, right on this page? Like, it's been given over by the teacher, we just had to get something from here, at least 1 point, because so far Macheeete has been really tough to touch, and then Nair side air might just stop it altogether.
This was his greatest opportunity to get extra credit. He was in yellow when he got that first stock, and Macheeete came in, found the secret hiding compartment that Fiend put that homework in, and still was able to throw it in the trash because he's so close. A sidelight side air, and it's basically even.
The fact that you keep bringing up this homework thing after y'all absolutely cooked and roasted me in the back for that piece of lettuce in the burrito is ridiculous. Everybody at home needs to know the abuse that I take backstage, and they also need to look at how these two players are fighting each other right here. It is so even between these two players who have never met in tournament before, who have probably never spoken before.
I wonder if Fiend is going to go straight over to that spear. So far, the Gauntlets seem to be having the most trouble against the orb. And yeah, that weapon throw, Fiend is typically very deliberate with his weapon throws against his opponents, but in that case, he was just dropping it to the side and say, the spear is what I've been having the most success with. He wants to fight against Macheete's orb, but look at that. That has been the best part of Macheete's play against Fiend, catching the landings on stage. Fiend doesn't want to go to touch the wall, so what does Macheeete do? Side light, side air, neutral light, bring Fiend into red.
Really good adaptation for Macheeete. He knows Fiend's been going for those side zigs a lot. He'll whiff, he'll do some sort of dash dance right afterwards, but Macheeete that time did the dash in spot dodge. He's gonna get the side air, and Macheeete is about to put this one away. This might be the end of Brazil here at the Midseason Invitational.
The second that stock fell from Fiend, you saw him wipe the sweat off of his brow. You know he's mentally sweating, you know he's physically sweating, and let me tell you, everybody at home, it is apparently very, very cold in that room, so you know that is how stressed Fiend is here. Down 1-2 in this best of 5 set. Down a stock. He has to get this KO very quickly. He's doing a good job. Hasn't been hit since he respawned. You're seeing, look at the range he's doing. He's going to run back away, completely backs away. I've never seen Fiend move like this. The patience, only throwing out moves that he knows are guaranteed safe.
Oh, Fiend's so sick at spear. The down air, he's going for the ground pound, and Macheeete's sweating, touches the stage, but the recovery comes back. Fiend went that entire minute not getting hit by a single move, not even a weapon throw from Macheeete, as he is that determined to bring this to a game 5.
Dude, they both went to the store and picked up some no extra credit signs that are just staking them in the back.
I'm so angry.
Look, I didn't even go with the same analogy. I'm just saying, they don't let extra credit happen. It's still even.
I'm furious. I don't even know what to say. Thank the heavens that these two players are giving me the best distraction that I've ever seen. Still so even, coming in at 4 minutes of these games. They're long, they're hard, they're so difficult.
Oh, that down stick could have ended the game there. Fiend's got to be careful. The landings has been his weak point, but he gets him off stage. He gets the side stick after the nair, and Fiend loves covering the stage. Did Macheeete touch? He gets the recovery. He goes for the side air, touches the stage, and Fiend is putting out the down lights, the side stick. He's trying to bait Macheeete in, but he's not taking the bait. He gets back to the stage, but the weapon throw gets dodged. New weapon comes through, it's the Scythe. He just throws it off the side of the stage. And now Fiend, if he gets a good spawn, he can get denied, but Macheeete takes it from the stage. Downlight, punished. Sidelight, side air. Fiend can only get one more of those on his person, and the dare misses.
He's still living. Fiend has an opportunity. Can he get this to game 5? Macheeete, he knows a sidelight Sair from basically anywhere can do this. He misses the Sair. Fiend doesn't get the punishment there. Doesn't get the recovery.
The patience and restraint that Fiend is showing right now that interrupted the recovery. Side air to get over the wall. Oh, it's too low. Not going to get off the top. He grabs his weapon off of the bounce pass. He's unarmed. He's still going in.
Oh, he gets the weapon. He got the spear. He just throws the spear. It's all right. Okay, new spawn comes in. As the gauntlet, he's just throwing everything. He just wants one of them to hit the sides that comes through. Both players, the Nair hits. The Nair almost knocks out off the top right. And the recovery dodges Macheeete. I think, the grab.
Bro, what are you doing? That's a crazy gimmick. Fiend is wild.
This is insane. Both of them one hit.
The weapon through the
game
side
5. Or is it going to be Macheeete continuing on?
How is this going to end? The light comes through, the recovery comes through, Macheeete sees another recovery. Even decided the weapon throw almost gets him. Fiend dodges through the weapon, and Macheeete doesn't have a weapon. He picks up the orb. Sidelight Cider could do it. Cider will just do it. What is it going to be? They have been scrambling this entire time, and Fiend has tossed every weapon.
He's got the spear again. Throws out the side sig, Macheeete.
Fiend takes it to game 5! How can Fiend avoid getting hit for so long?
How did both of them
oh my goodness.
avoid getting hit
That
for so long?
has to be the longest lasting stock on Brawlhalla I have ever seen.
That was a 6-minute game.
Unarmed Nair almost looked like Koji down sig on small Brawlhalla. We need to see the graph. What is that?
That's what I was going to say. I was like, we don't normally show the graphs mid-set, but we need to see that last graph.
I think the damage he took broke the
straight
graph.
up flat lines for the last fourth of the match.
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before.
We don't have time.
Give us this graph at the end. Save this graph and give this graph at the end if you possibly can.
Hold on. Quick, take a screenshot.
Game 5 Fiend versus Macheeete. Will it be Brazil? Will it be France going into the top 3?
Oh man, we're about to find out. Pogos from Fiend on that side of the stage, and Macheeete with the scythe opening up. He gets hit by that weapon throw. Neutral light down here doesn't hit, but Macheeete can't get the punish through. And that weapon throw comes forward again, but this time the neutral light doesn't connect, and Macheeete de-lights him off the side of the stage. Look at that, Fiend gets the sidelight de-light recovery.
Doesn't go for the second one. Saw the weapon toss down from Macheeete, and he goes back. He got the damage, but he needs this stock lead.
I can't tell you how gnarly this Game 5 situation is. I think this is legitimately the most insane Game 5 situation we've seen. This is losers semis, guys. This is not losers finals. This is not winners finals. This is not grand finals. This is elimination semifinals, and it's still this crazy. It's been a full minute. Neither player is willing to go down.
Dive kick comes from Fiend after Macheeete gets that extra bit of damage. The Nair bounces him off the stage, and Fiend doesn't want to risk going for that follow-up. Weapon throw down, doesn't hit. New spawn comes in, and Fiend gets the spear, falls to the side air, weapon throw, he catches it, does go for the recovery, but Fiend's not going to fall for that as Fiend's holding on the side of Demon Island, and he falls, goes for the weapon throw, and he gets punished by the Sair. Macheeete takes that first stock, and Sparky, as you were talking about before, every single time those stocks go down, Fiend wipes his brow. He's that into this match.
He is locked and loaded. They are so sweaty right now. This is so intense, and it's just the ultimate test of endurance. 5 games of going to the finals stock. This is so tough.
These games, every single one is a grind. Last game being 6 minutes is unreal, and they're still going at it here. Everything is still dialed, locked in. They don't look tired. Their execution is still incredible. Their decision-making is still incredible. The translation from brain to hand to controller to game is still second to none. These players are truly incredible.
Yeah, but Duke's favorite topic of the set. Right? This is the most extra credit that we've seen for either player on either side. And Fiend going into this 2-stock scenario already in red while Macheeete was on a fresh stock is looking pretty rough for him as he gets hit by that strong hit on the D-Light DOS boot coming to the right side of the stage, and Macheeete gets hit by the weapon throw down, but Fiend hasn't found any neutral lights to follow it.
This is such a tough spot for Fiend, and he's gonna have to survive on this second stock, get this damage built up, minimize this lead that Macheeete has built up, and that's a good start to it. Can he get the edge guard? Pogo
Macheeete
touches the wall.
Side sig!
Wow. He's got the lead!
He didn't use a spear ground pound. How many spear ground pounds have we seen him use in situations almost exactly like that? He doesn't do that here. He knew how important getting that stock was and getting the lead was on Macheeete, so he just waited, bided his time, he decides to double the recovery, goes back to the main stage, does go back up just to throw the recovery, side 6 coming out, he knows this game could be winding down, if he plays his cards right, and he does! Vamos Brazil! Game 5, Fiend takes it!
Top 3. Fiend continues on. South America stays inside the mid-season invitational. Taza, you seem lost for words.
You were celebrating the extra credit. That Fiend never took damage again. He never took damage again. That first stock, he goes down. He goes on the second stock, red. Macheeete has 3 stocks. Fiend never takes damage again. Right? I want to see that grab spark. We have so many, like, we're keeping all of that, all of the stats coming out from that best of 5. That is a best of 5 to remember. I mean, you were stating what kind of finals there were, but that was an ultimate show match between South America and Europe, and I could not be more satisfied with the outcome. Fiend with the comeback on Game 4. I have never seen a more impressive comeback in my life.
This is amazing. Dude, I'm sure I've said it a million times, but I'm so happy we got to do this mid-season invitation. I'm so happy we're here. We finally get to get these players together to fight against each other, to see Fiend versus Macheeete, a match we haven't seen literally ever, that no one had really theorized in the last 2 years, but here it is in the elimination top 4, and it goes down to Game 5. Like, I am so happy that we got to do this.
So I'm not sure if we're going to get to the graph here, but there's one thing that maybe before we do, while we're looking at these replays, I do want to point out. We're celebrating Fiend a lot, and we absolutely should. I also want to celebrate Macheeete because we know Fiend is a symbol of South America. He helps keep that scene